A rousing rendition of the Saudi Arabian national anthem. Lots of green shirts amongst the crowd at the Education City Stadium once again. The Saudi supporters will be outnumbering their Polish counterparts, and they are looking, of course, to make it back-to-back World Cup victories. And not only did that stunning toppling of Argentina in the opening game lead to a public holiday, it also earned every single player a Rolls Royce as a well-done present from the country's crown prince. Who knows what riches will await them back in Riyadh if they could secure a place in the knockout stages for the first time since 1994. Victory against a Polish outfit who toiled to a goalless draw with Mexico in their opening game would guarantee a spot in the last 16. A fate, Dean Ashton, few would have predicted before that seismic shock in the Lusail Stadium.
It is quite incredible to think that Saudi Arabia, with a win over Poland, would put themselves through to the knockout stages. I think it's testament to Hervé Renard, who has got this team so well organised. He's got them with a great mentality to work, to be hard to beat, but also to have that bravery to go and play. Now, will Poland have that? Because they didn't in that first game. Of course, Lewandowski's penalty could have changed things, but it was a very underwhelming performance from them in their first game.
Well, it was a courageous performance, particularly in that second half, from Saudi Arabia to do what nobody expected and come out on top against Argentina. Courage is a word that the Poland coach Czesław Michniewicz has admitted was in short supply in their stalemate against Mexico. He wants his team to be more ambitious, to be braver, to play on the front foot. In reality, with their final match of this group against Argentina, Poland simply have to win to avoid yet another group stage exit at the World Cup. The team news for the Poles is they make a trio of alterations. Wojciech Szczesny, once of Arsenal, is the goalkeeper. It's the same back four that took to the field against Mexico. Cash of Aston Villa, Glick, Kiwior and Berezinski. Christian Bielik, the Birmingham City midfielder, comes in alongside Krajkowiak in front of the back line. Frankowski also is restored to the starting lineup alongside Milik and Jelinski in behind Robert Lewandowski, still searching for that elusive first goal at a World Cup in attack. Saudi Arabia are without a number of key players, not least their captain, who is watching on crutches from the dugout, Salman Al-Faraj. So a trio of enforced alterations for them. Alaouez starts in goal. It's Abdul Hamid, Al Amri who comes in at the back, Al Balahai and Al Break in that back four. Al Amalki holding in midfield with Burakan, Nagy, Kanu, and the winning goal scorer against Argentina, Al Dasari, making up the midfield. Salah Al-Shari is the lone striker. The Saudi Arabian players gather in a pre-kick-off huddle. They know exactly what is at stake this afternoon. Victory, and they will become the first team officially through to the knockout stages. Something they've not achieved since USA 94. But it will be Poland in their white jerseys, red shorts and white socks who kick us off. They are shooting from left to right in this first half. Saudi Arabia attacking the goal away to our left, all in green. This is match 22 already of the 2022 World Cup. The countdown is over and we are off and underway here on Talk Sport as our wall-to-wall coverage from Doha continues. Dean Ashton, what can we expect?
Well, usually both of these sides like to sit back and soak up pressure and then counter-attack. So who will take it on? And surely we have to see a better Polish side as Lewandowski straight away is put under pressure and takes a whack as well. And I mean, if Saudi Arabia play anywhere near as well as they did against Argentina, I can see them winning this game.
They've only ever won 2 matches at the World Cup since reaching the knockout stages in 1994. Clearly the most famous of them came just a few days ago, not too far from here at the Lusail Stadium. Messi and Argentina stunned in defeat. Well, the same fate fall at the feet of Robert Lewandowski, you wonder. Poland in possession, high up the field with Milik, one of those called up into the starting 11 this afternoon, but he's been penalised for a foul, and it will be a free kick for Saudi Arabia midway inside their own half.
Well, I mean, the end of that game against Argentina, Saudi Arabia just seemed to have an incredible togetherness. Also, it was them that were creating the chances and then had to hang on towards the end.
And the attack here on the edge of the Polish penalty area. They're looking for a free kick. Sami Al-Naji went down, nothing doing according to the referee, and cleared upfield by Matty Cash, the Aston Villa right back, asking Milik to get on the end of it. It will be headed away by Saud Abdul Hamid. And here comes Saudi Arabia attacking down their right. 0-0. You're listening to TalkSport live from Doha, and the ball is won back by the Polish left back Bartosz Berezinski, the Sampdoria man, back now with the yellow shirted Wojciech Szczesny. Poland had an expected goals tally of less than 1 in that match against Mexico. You can understand why coach Czeslaw Michniewicz is asking for more front foot football. We're coming over halfway here, but it was a slip from Jakub Kiwior, and a throw in for Saudi Arabia with their coach Hervé Renard in a resplendent white shirt, open net, watching on from the edge of the technical area. No experience, former Cambridge United manager, didn't do particularly well there, but has won the African Cup of Nations as a coach, not once but twice, with 2 different nations. Saudi Arabia come forward into the penalty area, the cross from the left-hand side.
Bit slick.
Al-Shari blocked.
He looks rather cool, doesn't he, Reynard, in that crisp white shirt?
I can only imagine that the iron at his hotel is better than the one at ours, because there's no way that I could have got all those creases out of my shirt.
No, I can certainly vouch for that, having looked at that shirt.
4 minutes gone. Poland 0, Saudi Arabia 0. Lots of Saudi Arabian supporters inside the Education City Stadium. Their team are seeing a lot of the ball in the Polish final third at the moment. It's bouncing around inside the penalty area and has to be ran clear by Kamil Glik. He goes down, and it's going to be a free kick for Poland.
Yeah, I mean, you could really sense it, couldn't you, on our way in to the stadium? The metro was full of Saudi Arabian fans in great voice, and that was a big feature of that first game, is their support. To feel like you've got that support behind you, I think, just pushes you on to a new level.
Yeah, we saw that, didn't we, in the game at this stadium between Denmark and Tunisia. Lots of Tunisian supporters. Didn't quite have the same impact earlier this afternoon, as they were beaten by Australia by 1-0. You heard that game live on TalkSport 2. 2 more commentaries still to come today. France against Denmark looks an intriguing matchup. That's a 4 o'clock kickoff UK time. And the 7 o'clock offering is the second game in this group. Mexico against Argentina. That will be a tremendous occasion at the Lusail Stadium. Lots of Mexico and Argentinian fans have been milling around Doha for the past few days. Argentina may need a result to ensure their World Cup does not come to a premature end. 0-0 here. Not too much in the way of goalmouth incident so far. Saudi Arabia launch a long throw towards the Polish penalty area. Matt Cash was too strong for Al-Shari, and the ball is behind for a Polish goal kick. Matt Cash, who qualifies for Poland through his mum, and he made his debut in qualifying, and here he is at the World Cup finals.
Yeah, just looking at the way Poland have set up, I wondered whether Bielik would sit a little deeper and allow Krychowiak to get forward. It's generally a two-man midfield, although Bielik is more likely to go and just sit in between the 2 centre-backs and happy to play from that position.
Pumped forward by the left-back Berezinski for Poland, and it's plucked neatly from the air by Milik. Milik over on that left touchline as we look. Poland trying to build up a head of steam here. Lewandowski's made a dart to the near post. The cross is over his head, kept alive by Matt Cash, the full-back, and then it's a disappointing delivery hanging in the air, and it was well taken actually by Mohamed Alouazi. He was under a bit of pressure at the near post, but he took the ball cleanly enough.
I think Lewandowski, of course, will benefit from having someone a little bit closer to him in Milik. I think he was so isolated against Mexico too often, and too often they go long to him and he's fighting for every ball. Well, just having that player up alongside him can try and combine. It's not only just any old player. I mean, Milik's a top quality player on loan at Juve.
He's got a decent goals return as well, but his country 16 in 65 international appearances. Arkadiusz Milik missed the last European Championships due to a knee problem, so will be keen to make up for lost time. This is the fourth major tournament in succession that Poland have qualified for, including those Euros. They haven't found it easy getting out of the group. Certainly at the World Cup stage, you have to go back to Mexico 1986 for the last time they played a game outside the group. Saudi Arabia come forward, and it's Salem Al-Dasari, the man who's late winner against Argentina, wrote his name in Saudi folklore. And there's a shot from the edge of the penalty area that's curled over the top of the crossbar. It was ambitious, but it was worth hitting from Mohamed Al. Break up from the back.
Yeah, it was a brilliant run from Al-Dasari. Just on the outside, it allowed Al-Break just to go inside and take the shot on. It took a wicked deflection off the top of Krakowiak's ponytail and flashed over the top.
First corner of the game. You're listening to Talk Sport live from Doha. Poland 0, Saudi Arabia 0 with 9 minutes played. Saudi Arabia looking to make it back-to-back wins to book their place in the last 16. Corner about to be swung in from the right-hand side. This is something we've seen a lot this tournament. Referees delaying set pieces being taken so they can warn the defenders not to be too physical. In comes the corner, hanging in the air, and it was flicked across the box by Al-Shari. Kept in play on this near side. And Al-Dasari stands up across towards the far post. Poland have defended that neatly enough, and it's back now inside the centre circle with Mohamed Al-Break. He plays it back out to this left-hand side, and the man they call the Tornado, Salem Al-Dasari. Little ball played to the edge of the penalty area, won by Matt Cash, who's being put under pressure. They're pressing high, as they did against Argentina. Saudi Arabia on this occasion. The ball is out for a Polish throw, but they're not going to get any time and space, Poland. Dean Ashton in and around their own 18-yard box.
No, and I think Cash and Bereszynski will be busy in the full-back areas, because Poland tend to force you wide. They like to force you wide and then try and look to press you in that area. They'll sit deep and then they'll look to hit the front as early as possible up towards Lewandowski and Milik.
It's obviously a busy time with football on the Talk Sport network. Every game from Doha live, either here on Talk Sport or on Talk Sport 2. We've got live boxing next Saturday. Live and exclusive radio commentary of Tyson Fury against Derek Chisora, the trilogy for the WBC World Heavyweight title. You can listen on air via your smart speaker or download the TalkSport app for free. So live sport comes thick and fast. Poland looking to make progress down their left-hand side. The ball crossed into the 6-yard box. There were 3 white shirts for Gregor Krykowiak to aim at, but couldn't pick out a teammate. The ball is safely in the gloves of Mohamed Alaouais. Not first choice for his club, the Saudi Arabian goalkeeper, but made more starts than anybody else in qualifying. How difficult is that when you're warming the bench at club level to be thrust into the spotlight on the biggest stage of all?
It always feels slightly different with goalkeepers, because that can be what your life is like. You can not play for a long time, and then, you know, if the goalkeeper gets injured, for example, you have to suddenly play and find your form. So I don't think it's as much of an issue as we certainly saw, say for example with Wales and their outfield players. When you're not playing, it can really be a factor.
Here's Al Burakan for Saudi Arabia, attacking down the right. Low cross into the penalty area, and it needed to be dealt with at the near post by Kivior. They have men over. Here come Poland on the counter-attack, and that's a firm but fair challenge, isn't it? No free kick is given for the foul on Gregor Krykowiak. The Saudi player having made the sliding tackle. Mohamed Kainu is down injured. Just watching a replay now, Dean. It was a tackle that had to be made. I think he got a fair chunk of the ball there.
But what he did is he stepped right across where Krychowiak was about to play the ball, just stepped across with his left foot, and then Krychowiak obviously kicked through the back of his Achilles.
But is that a Saudi foul?
Well, it was before then. He then touched the ball after Krychowiak has kicked through his Achilles.
The referee agrees with Dean Ashton's interpretation. Here's Cash in the right wing position for Poland. He's got Lewandowski crying out for a pass ahead of him. Cash tries to play it through for Lewandowski. He's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, but I think the flag had gone up. Just for a moment, Lewandowski thought he might get the opportunity to break his World Cup duck. I wonder actually if Matt Cash was penalised for a foul in the build-up. I think Lewandowski would have been offside, but Cash with a follow-through on Abdullah Al-Malki playing in that defensive midfield role. So it's a free kick for Saudi Arabia, and with 13 minutes gone on TalkSport, it remains goalless.
Yeah, he just followed through, didn't he, Matt Cash, with that sliding challenge. But will Poland be able to break that high line that Saudi Arabia play? It was an unbelievably high line against Argentina. They played it to perfection, albeit very, very close. Will Poland be able to figure that out?
This is a powerful burst forward by Saudi Arabia, and maybe a shooting opportunity as well, and tipped over the bar by Szczesny. Excellent save from the Poland goalkeeper. It was a lung-busting burst from midfield by Mohamed Kanu to start the move. He played the ball out to his right-hand side. He got it back on the edge of the penalty area. It was going in, and it needed to be tipped behind by Szczesny.
Abdulhamid, brilliant from the right back, getting forward, getting on the end of that brilliant run from Kano, and then he reversed the pass back to him, and he just flashed it in at the near post, and Szczesny over the top.
Second Saudi Arabia corner of these early exchanges, cleared to the edge of the penalty area. Poland will look to try and counter if they can possibly do so. The ball now back in the arms of Wojciech Szczesny, the goalkeeper, and he immediately half volleys it upfield, but it's one back by Al-Malki, then lofted out to the left-hand side, and Salam Al-Dasari, the skipper. Again, a good run down the right from Saud Abdulhamid. Well defended in the end, ushered behind by Jakub Kiwior, and it will be a goal kick for Poland, but Saudi Arabia have been the better side, Dean Ashton.
Yeah, they've moved the ball a lot quicker than Poland, who again, I don't know why Szczesny's looking for it, but he gets it into his hands and he just launches it forward towards Lewandowski. I'm pretty sure Saudi Arabia will be happy with that. They then pick up the ball, and they're the ones that play the nice quick football until eventually it goes out wide and just comes to nothing. But still, more encouragement for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, they just look a more energetic side early on here. Still a relatively warm afternoon over in Qatar. Matty Cash races to try and put some pressure on Mohamed El Break, but the ball was always going behind for a goal kick. It's a very animated reaction from Hervé Renard, the coach. We saw this week that extraordinary footage of his half-time rant in the Argentina game. Basically said, are you just here to get an autograph from Lionel Messi, or do you want to try and win the game? Certainly had the desired effect, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, considering we're not long into the game, he was furious on the side there.
Al-Shari has been caught by a late challenge. He's down holding his right ankle. It was Jakub Kiwior, the offender, and that's going to be the first yellow card of the afternoon. It was a high foot over the top of the ball. Jakub Kiwior, who plays his club football for Spezia over in Italy, is going to have to be careful now for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's just gone in with his stud showing, and then as the ball was tried to play beyond him, kicked through into the bottom of his studs. And if you go in at that height especially, it was around knee height, but obviously hitting the foot, you're going to get a yellow card. Now he's got to be careful for a long period of the game.
Yeah, one more mistimed tackle, and Poland find themselves down to 10 men. Here comes our break down the left-hand side for Saudi Arabia, forward to Al-Dasari. Matt Cash has gone thundering into a challenge, and he's going to get a yellow card. Two quick-fire bookings for Poland.
Yeah, that was wild from Matty Cash. Al-Dasari, brilliant. Just waited for the challenge and then just chopped it to the side of him, and rode the challenge, albeit got caught. He of course does 3 or 4 rolls, but that deserved a yellow card. That was out of control from Cash.
2 yellow cards in the space of as many minutes for Poland. 2 of their back 4 now walking that disciplinary tightrope. AZOIR is down to receive treatment. It's an opportunity for me to remind you there are plenty of podcasts available every day of the tournament from TalkSport. We've got H&J with their daily roundup, White and Jordan with the highlights from their show. We've got the TalkSport Daily and the Game Day podcast available every morning, looking back on the previous day's action and ahead to what's to come. You won't miss a kick from Qatar 2022. Saudi Arabia prepared to take this free kick a yard in from the near touchline. As we look on the left-hand side, there are half a dozen green shirts to aim at. One good delivery, Poland could find themselves in trouble. It's going to be chipped in towards the edge of the area by our break, but too close to the goalkeeper Szczesny, and he safely claims the ball in his hands.
Yeah, it always feels like a waste, doesn't it, when a delivery such as that is there to be attacked and it goes straight to the goalkeeper. But it's been a really bright start from Saudi Arabia. They've been the better side, they've been more energetic. Poland haven't been able to get into any sort of a rhythm, and they certainly haven't been able to even test that high line yet, let alone break it.
Well, they've only lost one of their last 9, Saudi Arabia. That was a 1-0 defeat in a friendly to Croatia earlier this month, but they don't have a particularly great record on the World Cup stage against European opponents. In fact, they haven't managed a single goal in any of their last 7 meetings against nations from that particular continent. As Poland come forward for a rare attack, Lewandowski wanted the ball played quickly into the centre. It was well defended in the end as Frankowski looked to get the cross in from the left-hand side, out for a Polish throw, taken short over on that far touchline. Boos from the Saudi Arabian supporters as their team thought they'd won the ball back, but it actually may have trickled out. It will be another Poland throw, level with the 18-yard line away to our right.
They have got to be switched on though, Saudi Arabia, especially at the back, because Poland, that's one thing they do. When they do win it, they play it forward really quickly, and they'll look to go in behind as well. Abdulhamid did really well just to block Frankowski.
Berezinski over on the far side wins another throw. He went short last time, does so again. Lewandowski dropping deep. Milik in the end conceding a foul, and it's going to be a Saudi free kick and another booking. Milik this time. Is every tackle a yellow card, Dean Ashton? I mean, he pulled his shorts.
I always think if you're stopping a counter-attack in that sense by pulling a shirt or clipping the heels, I think that is a yellow card, because you're trying to stop the counter-attack. It's, you know, it's
3 bookings in 5 minutes though just sets the wrong tone, doesn't it?
Well, not if they're yellow cards.
Here come Poland over the halfway line. Stopped in his tracks was Jelinski, who started on the right-hand side of that 3, in behind Lewandowski. Player's been halted because there's a Saudi player down with a head injury. Matt Cash leading with the elbow. Have to be careful. I mean, he's already been booked, Cash. He caught our break.
I wonder whether this will be looked at, because he really does catch him with the elbow. Matty Cash, as he comes across, he does win the header, and it doesn't feel like he swings the right arm. It's just out there as leverage, but still really does catch.
It's a risky manoeuvre, bearing in mind that you've already been shown the early yellow card. And the booking has gone the other way to Abdullah Al-Malki. So that's now 4 yellow cards in the space of around about 7 minutes, and Hervé Renard doesn't quite understand that decision.
Well, it must be for some sort of dissent because of that challenge. Obviously, Al Break as well came in really late against Argentina because one of his teammates was hurt and went down with a head injury in that game, and now he's suffering with what looks like a bad injury.
Yeah, this would be a change that Hervé Renard wouldn't want to make. Since that run to the round of 16 at USA 94. Saudi Arabia have 4 times tried and failed to navigate their way out of the group stage. Victory this afternoon, remember, would guarantee that they become the first team officially through. England were hoping that they could claim that accolade last night, but played out an insipid 0-0 draw against the USA. You can hear their final group match against Wales live on Talk Sport.
I'm sorry, I've just got to say, Crookie, it's another example of a head injury where football hasn't got it right yet. There's no way Al Break should be carrying on. He should have to go off and be assessed. You know, we saw how he went down there. He looked in a bit of trouble, and all of a sudden, because it's a World Cup, he wants to come back on, but I think something has to change for players' safety. That just didn't look right for him to come straight back on, but he is.
We had it in the England-Iran game, didn't we, with the goalkeeper who broke his nose and tried to play on before pretty much collapsing on the pitch a few minutes later. At the moment, Al Break is still out there. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Talk Sport. We've reached the midway point of the first half at the Education City Stadium. Here's Lewandowski, who's seen very little service so far. He's come out to the right wing position, just try and get involved in the play, and Al Break with the tackle. Last touch was off Lewandowski, and it's a throw in for Saudi Arabia. As Lewandowski just adjusts that green captain's armband. He scored 76 goals in 135 games in his country, the now 34-year-old, but none yet on the World Cup stage. Missed that penalty in the opening game against Mexico. As Al-Dasari comes forward down the left for Saudi Arabia. He might try and get a shot away here. He's into the penalty area. He opted to try and cut it back into the box. It was well blocked. Still a chance for Al-Shari on the edge of that 18-yard box. Saudi Arabia have committed plenty of bodies forward here. Abdul Hamid with a cross into the area. Good header away by Kamil Glick. And it's back out now on the right-hand side with Abdul Hamid. Gets his cross into the box. Steered away by Kivior at the near post. They can't get out at the moment, Poland. Saudi Arabia applying plenty of pressure. And in the end, it was a poor pass that's intercepted by Berezinski. And then he's being pressed high up the pitch down by the left corner flag by Abdul Hamid. It is going to be a goal kick, but again, terrific energy levels from Saudi Arabia. It was a trademark, a hallmark of that victory from behind against Argentina, and really the action they picked up here where they left off at the end of that game.
So impressive, isn't it? I mean, that's what will test you at the very highest level. If you've got that sort of energy up against you, is are you good enough to cope with that? Can you take the ball under pressure? Can you play through when they've got really good organisation and energy? Well, Argentina found it very, very difficult. And so far, after dealing with Messi, they've dealt with Lewandowski so far.
And that's a better looking ball into the penalty area, not for Lewandowski, for Frankowski, who was furthest forward, and it needed a smart piece of defending by Al Break. Came quickly across from the full-back position and then slides and knocks the ball out of play for a Polish throw. For the first time, really, that Saudi Arabian backline looked stretched.
It's there, though, isn't it? It's there for Poland if they time it right, that ball over the top.
They're trying to keep the ball here on the edge of the penalty area. Goalkeeper Mohamed Alaways comes out all in orange and drops down, having collected the ball inside the box, bowls it out short to Al-Balahi, the star centre-back for this team. He goes back to Alaways again. Oh, that's a poor ball out by the goalkeeper, straight to Milik. Could have played it forward to Lewandowski, but opts to come out with his right-hand side instead. Frankowski. Opportunity for Matt Cash, maybe, we know is a roaming full-back, down by the right corner flag. He's played the ball against Al-Dasari, I think it trickled behind for a corner.
Yeah, that was better from Poland. They got numbers forward that time. And when it was flicked into Lewandowski, he had options, tried to play it to Cash, it just overrun, but he did well to win a corner. And you know, they're a big side, Poland. Glick, Kivior, both coming forward.
Corner to be played in by Jelinski towards the far post, and it was a bullet header that's been turned behind. A brilliant clearance by Al-Shari right in front of his own goal line. It was a towering header from Christian Bielik. And at the very least, Dean Ashton, but for the intervention from Al Shari, it would have tested the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think the goalkeeper would have saved it, but still, it was good defending.
Another corner played in by Lewandowski. Decent delivery to the near post this time, but Saudi Arabia get it away. And maybe more than that, because here comes the lightning quick Abdul Hamid down the right hand side into Al Dasari. Couldn't pick out a teammate inside the Polish half, and it's swept out of play over on that far side by Kamil Glik.
Yeah, they do break with such pace, Saudi Arabia, but they look dangerous there, Poland, from a set play. That could be a feature we need to keep an eye on. And then they're just desperate to counter-attack when they get the opportunity, and looks like there's another injury.
Yeah, it's Sami Al-Naji, one of those who came into the team, has just gone down holding his left calf, the energetic Al-Nassr midfielder. Hervé Renard once again is on his feet and looking rather concerned. Referee just checking that Al-Naji is okay to continue. We've played 28 minutes. You're listening to Talk Sport live from Doha. Alex Crook and Dean Ashton calling Poland 0, Saudi Arabia 0 earlier today. Australia picking up a crucial 1-0 victory against Tunisia to get their World Cup campaign off and running. France-Denmark, the other game in that group, is a 4 o'clock kickoff UK time live here on Talk Sport, and at 7 o'clock tonight. What a game this will be. Mexico against Argentina. Argentina needing a response to that shock defeat against Saudi Arabia in their opening game. 4 more games tomorrow, including the small matter of Germany against Spain. Germany could even exit the World Cup tomorrow. What chances Argentina and Germany crashing out in the space of a couple of days?
Oh, that would be absolutely huge, wouldn't it?
Seismic. In order for that to happen, Saudi Arabia would need to win this game. 0-0 the score. Al-Naji, having received minimal treatment, is okay to continue. Just looking at the possession stats, Saudi Arabia have had 50% possession control, which is a new metric used by FIFA to measure the balance of play. In contrast, Poland 32% control possession, and that really backs up what we've been watching, Dean Ashton, that Saudi Arabia are dictating the pace of the play and looking the more dangerous of the two teams, barring the occasional breakaway.
So the rest of that is just a free-for-all in the middle,
basically. It's all Arsene Wenger's brainwave. It's to give us as broadcasters a better concept of how games are played out. As Al Dasari tries to pick up the ball on the edge of the Polish penalty area to our left, it's well defended, and then Milik knocks it out to this right hand side, and Mati Cash has got Lewandowski overlapping, dropping very deep. The Polish number 9 goes all the way back into his own half of the field, and Kamil Glik. A bit more of a direct ball forward by Kivior, and he's picked out Lewandowski, just couldn't quite control it on the edge of the penalty area. He gobbled up a lot of ground to get there, having been at one stage pretty much on the halfway line. Lewandowski, a better touch, Dean Ashton, and he would have been in on goal.
Yeah, he timed the run brilliantly, didn't he? He'd laid it off and then just made that run and timed the arc of the run.
Here comes the impressive Kanu, making his way to the edge of the penalty area for Saudi Arabia. The offside flag I think was going to go up there. The ball was played by Al Dasari forward to Al Shari, but I've been impressed by Kanu so far. Very gangly, athletic central midfielder, box to box, and he has covered plenty of ground in the opening 31 minutes here on TalkSport.
Yeah, and I wondered which team would take on the responsibility to have more possession, to try and dominate the game, and Saudi Arabia have been that team.
Poland are giving it away cheaply inside their own half. Our break coming forward down the left for Saudi Arabia. The Polish coach in his grey suit, Czeslaw Michnewicz, former goalkeeper, celebrates a year in charge next month. He's come out to the edge of his technical area. Could be a bit concerned that his side aren't more of a dominant force in proceedings. A point doesn't really do Poland a lot of good, you would imagine, with that final game to come against Argentina. It would be a terrific result for Saudi Arabia, who face Mexico in their last match of the group. If they were to grind out a point here and Argentina beat Mexico, as I think most of us expect, although we did expect them to beat Saudi Arabia as well, then that would give Hervé Renard's side a great chance of progressing. 3 points guarantees it, remember. They have a throw over on the right-hand side, midway inside the Polish half of the field. Poland unbeaten in their last 3 matches, all without conceding a goal. Saudi Arabia, in contrast, haven't kept a clean sheet in a World Cup match for 14 games. 37 goals conceded in that tie.
But you can see why Poland are hard to score against. Even though they've got good talent, they just sit really deep and just block the spaces in almost a 4-4-2, actually, defensively.
Here's a raking ball forward from midfield by Al Malki for Saudi Arabia, brought down the right-hand side by the ever-willing Al Muhammi. Cross into the area. Al Sharif made a darting run towards the near post. He went for the diving header, couldn't make connection. He's out for a throw. But both fullbacks, Dean Ashton, Abdul Hamid, whenever they're attacking down the right-hand side, now break on this near touch line, they've looked very lively.
Yeah, they've looked excellent.
Maybe could have done better with a header, Al Sharif.
Well, he just stretching, wasn't he? I think misjudged the flight of the ball from Abdul Hamid on that right-hand side. But that's what they do, the energy, not only to close down, but then when they get the ball and play it forward, the energy to get forward and get in the box and try and flood the box. Impressive.
Here's Lewandowski inside the centre circle, skips away from one challenge, but it's quickly closed down by a cluster of green shirts. Has to go back into his own half of the field. Poland will patiently build once more. Again, I'm not sure this is going to be a game where we're going to see a flurry of goals. Poland have a free kick for a foul on Bielik, just inside the Saudi Arabia half. It was a bit late from Al Shari, genuine attempt to play the ball, but was never going to get there.
Yeah, but he's expected to do the work, isn't he? Al Shari, as a forward, as soon as that ball goes in past you, any of the Saudi Arabia players, as soon as it's gone past you, they turn, they sprint, they close down the player with the ball, so it means you've got pressure from behind and at the front.
That's the voice of Dean Ashton, former England striker. Saudi Arabia in a unique position of having a squad made up entirely of players who play in their own domestic league, many of them the champions Al Hilal. Poland try and prize away through a very congested Saudi defence. Bielik plays the ball into the centre of the Saudi half, and Gregor Krykowiak. Here's Mati Cash down the right, trying to inject some pace into the Polish play. Again, Saudi Arabian side being urged on by their very animated coach Hervé Renard. Defensively resolute, and the ball is out for a throw.
I think he feels like he has to keep on at the players.
There's Lewandowski inside the penalty area, trying to hold off the attentions of Al Balai. The referee belatedly has given a free kick for a shove by Lewandowski. Must be such a difficult role that he's got with Poland, starved of service, having to plough that lone furrow up front, Dean Ashton.
Yeah, he knows how we feel now, doesn't he? Most of the forwards that have to graft on scraps every week. He's willing to put the work in, though. He doesn't seem like the type of player that's just going to stroll around. He's happy to work his socks off for Poland and lead by example. And I think that's the impressive side of himself.
Al Balai, he is down, holding his shoulder inside the penalty area. And let's remind you of what we've got coming up on the TalkSport network over the coming days. Wall-to-wall football, not just here in Doha at the World Cup. We've got an FA Cup game as well over on TalkSport 2. Kings Lynn Town in action as they take on Stevenage. It's not often, is it, that you get Kings Lynn and Lionel Messi on the same schedule, but that's what we have today. Argentina, Mexico, 7 o'clock kickoff. Live from Doha, France against Denmark at 4. Both those games here on TalkSport tomorrow. 10 o'clock on TalkSport 2, Japan, Costa Rica. If Japan get a point there and Spain beat Germany in the 7 o'clock game live on TalkSport, Germany will be out of the World Cup. 1 o'clock TalkSport, Belgium, Morocco. Belgium looking to book their place in the knockout stages with victory. And the other game from that group is a 4 o'clock kickoff, Croatia against Canada. Canada still looking for their first goal at a World Cup. On Monday, the 10 o'clock game on TalkSport 2 is Cameroon against Serbia. 1 o'clock on TalkSport, South Korea, Ghana. 4 o'clock, Brazil, Switzerland, also here on TalkSport. Then at 7 o'clock, I'll be alongside Leanne Sanderson for Portugal against Uruguay. Looking forward to that one on Monday.
Well, it's just they've strapped Albalari's right elbow, and it just looks as if as he fell down, Lewandowski's then just gone to step over the top of him, all in a big tangle, and I think just trod right on the joint of the elbow. And he looks in a lot of pain. All strapped up now. I'm sure he'll want to continue.
They've been in the wars, the Saudi Arabian players, in the first half. In front of a large group of travelling supporters behind the goal. It's not that far to travel. Saudi Arabia 2 years ago made the decision to snap up an exclusive resort on the Sea Line Beach, which is around about 25 miles from the Saudi Arabia border, only an hour's drive from central Doha. They were expecting in the group stage around about 200,000 Saudi Arabian fans to make the trip across the border, and we saw plenty of them, as Dean has already alluded to, making their way to the game on the metro, which is an impeccable form of transport most of the time, especially renovated for this World Cup. Here's Matty Cash, plays it back to the edge of the penalty area for Poland, away to our left, and Kamil Glik. When they are hunting for Polish mistakes on the edge of the area, Saudi Arabia, is Szczesny, a veteran of 3 European Championships and now his second World Cup in the Poland goal. He gets plenty of distance on the clearance to the halfway line, but Saudi Arabia have it back down the right with Abdul Hamid. Maybe an opportunity to get the cross into the area, but the return ball from Kanu too heavy for the right fullback Abdul Hamid, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Really lack quality, the game, and I think the stoppages as well for the injuries haven't helped. It's been very bitty, neither team looking particularly fluid, and certainly the end product's been poor so far.
It's better from Matt Cash though, took the goalkeeper's ball upfield and immediately played it forward to Frankowski. Cash with the delivery, Lewandowski arrives on, somehow he's not scored from 4 yards, played it back into the area, and Poland do have their goal, slammed into the roof of the net by Piotr Zielinski, and the conquerors of Argentina, Saudi Arabia, have been brought crashing to earth. Lewandowski should have scored himself. In the end, he turned provider, and it's an excellent finish high into the net from Piotr Zielinski to make it Poland 1, Saudi Arabia 0.
And Matty Cash, this goal is down to you. It's absolutely brilliant from the Aston Villa fullback. It's a brilliant ball as well from Szczesny. Plays it all the way out to Matty Cash, who is nice and high. He plays a 1-2, he gets down to the byline, crosses it for Lewandowski, and you think the chance is gone when he flicks it over the keeper, but no, he just turns, plays it cleverly back to Zielinski, who then on the half volley just rifles it into the roof of the net. And it's the first bit of quality we've seen in this game, and Poland lead.
Zielinski into double figures now in terms of goals for his country. How big could that be in terms of their hopes of progressing to the knockout stages? They're coming forward again here, Poland. Lewandowski inside the penalty area, and he fires a right-footed shot all the way across the face of goal and behind for a goal kick. He can smile about it, Lewandowski, but again, I think he would have expected to hit the target, and had he not managed to salvage that earlier situation and keep the ball in play and tee up Zielinski for the finish, I think he would have been quite embarrassed not to score himself.
Yeah, well, look, he's trying to score there, and actually he's not looking across at the fact that he's got 2 teammates in the area to play it towards. got to say he did really well with the goal. The way he just flicked that over the goalkeeper, you think the chance was gone. A quick control turn and played it into his teammate, who then was able just to hit it hard and high into the roof of the net. You can't say they've deserved it, Poland, because they haven't, but it just shows they have got quality players that if they do put 2 or 3 decent passes together, they can be a real dangerous side.
And it means that Saudi Arabia's wait for a clean sheet in a World Cup game goes on. 15 matches now, having conceded at this stage. So they came from behind, didn't they, to beat Argentina in the first game. Are we going to see more of the same in the second half of the Education City Stadium? We've got 2.5 minutes of regulation time to play. There will be a fair amount added on for stoppages, as has been the theme at this World Cup, as the goalscorer Jelinski plays the ball into midfield. And it's clipped forward by Berezinski up from left back, but all the way through to the goalkeeper Mohamed Alaways, who could do nothing, could he, Dean, to stop that rocket shot into the roof of the goal from Jelinski?
No, there was no craft about it. It was just put the laces through it, give the goalkeeper absolutely no chance. But just wondering, with your contacts out here, Crookie, could you get us in the Saudi Arabia dressing room? I'd love to know what Renard says in this half-time talk.
I'll see what I can do. Might be a tad difficult. Saudi Arabia looking for an equaliser here. Abdul Hamid down by the right corner flag with a chance to cross low into the area, into the feet of Al Shari. He goes down in the box. There are half-hearted penalty appeals, more from the Saudi fans than from the players themselves, and the ball is out now for a throw over on the far side. We have a Canadian official, Drew Fisher, in charge of the VAR. There was a little bit of contact from Bielik, but not enough for a penalty, I don't think.
I think this is what you call embarrassing from Al Shari. Barely any contact, thrown himself to the floor, arms back, chest forwards.
Well, they are checking for a potential penalty here. It's just flashed up on our monitor, looking at a possible foul, and the referee is indicating that he's coming over to the television monitor, and that usually means a reversal of the on-field decision. Dean Ashton.
Surely not. Surely they cannot be fooled by this from Al Shari. I'm sorry, there's just not the contact there from Bielik. Yeah, okay, his shin pad touches the back of his leg, but come on then, look at the reaction of Al Shari. There's just not enough contact at all, as far as I'm concerned.
It's a very theatrical fall to the ground.
That's an understatement.
By Al Shari. The referee is having a long look at the monitor. He's back out there, and I think he's given a penalty. Extraordinary. Right at the end of the first half, moments after Poland had taken the lead, Saudi Arabia have a penalty opportunity to get back on level terms, and their captain Salem Al-Dasari, conqueror of Argentina, looks like he will take the responsibility.
I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed this has been given as a penalty. Wilton Sampaio, the referee, I'm sorry, you have been fooled, because Al Shari, there's not enough contact there. The theatrics of the arms, the chest forwards, it's just not a penalty as far as I'm concerned, and it's a massive opportunity for Saudi Arabia. And I feel for Bielik, because he didn't do, for me, anything wrong.
Al-Dasari has actually handed over the responsibility to Firas Al-Burakan. 6 goals, senior international football before this afternoon. The many thousands of Saudi supporters inside the Education City Stadium hold their breath. But in the first of 10 added minutes at the end of the first half, Saudi Arabia have the opportunity to get back on level terms. In fact, after more debate, it will be Al-Dasari after all to take the spot kick. 1-0 Poland lead. Al-Dasari, a goal scorer against Argentina, is denied by Szczesny, and then it's turned over the top of the crossbar, and the rebound by Al Break. Well, they missed the penalty in their first game, Poland. They've saved one here, and Salem Aldasari from hero to villain. It wasn't a great spot kick, and Wojciech Szczesny, the former Arsenal goalkeeper, keeps Poland in front.
I wonder whether they'll check whether he stepped off the line. But I tell you what, the penalty save is good. But oh my word, the save after that is unbelievable. He gets himself up, Albright comes in, flashes it up above his head, and he's already down. He gets up really quick and makes a stunning fingertip save over the top.
Well, that second save is absolutely sensational from Szczesny. The shot had so much power, it was surely destined for the top corner, and somehow he managed to tip it over the bar. Corner from the left-hand side is cleared away. We played 3 of 10 added minutes, and this game has sprung into life at the end of the first half. And Poland taking the lead, courtesy of Jelinski, conceding a penalty moments later, and Aldasari, well, how quickly fortunes can change in football, Dean Ashton. 1 minute he's claiming the winning goal against Argentina, the next he's being denied from the spot.
Justice, as far as I'm concerned. There's no way that was a penalty. But Wojciech Szczesny, honestly, the second save is so good, and it just shows the ability of these goalkeepers to be able to hit the deck, get up as quick as they do, and make saves such as that. Not only that, the power in the shot, it was only his fingertips that saved it. It was a fantastic save.
What did you make of all the toing and throwing before the penalty was taken? 1 minute Aldasari had the ball, then he passed it to Albarakan, and then he got it back again. Does that suggest that maybe he wasn't particularly confident?
Not ideal, is it? Not ideal.
Surely those type of things should be sorted out in the dressing room before you even come out onto the pitch. Nonetheless, it's been a good reaction to Saudi Arabia to falling behind.
Oh, of course. And they'll obviously have the confidence of knowing that they've done it against Argentina, but that could be so crucial. I mean, you know, you think of the Lewandowski miss and how crucial that was. Well, this is equally, in terms of mindset now, going into half-time and the manager's talk and all of those things could have been crucial.
That second save, the follow-up stop from Szczesny, gets better every time you see it. Mohamed Albright, who's only ever scored 1 goal for his country, can't believe that he's not made it 1-1. Yellow card for Abdullah Al-Amri. It was for a late challenge from behind on Robert Lewandowski.
I mean, it's not a yellow card. He's only stepped in. Lewandowski's just rolled off the back of it. There's no real contact there, and the referee hasn't particularly impressed me in this game so far.
We've had 5 bookings now in this first half already. Halfway through the 5 added minutes. What do you make of that directive from IFAB to add on more stoppage time at the end of halves, to make sure that fans get maximum value for money, to make sure that any time wasting doesn't really have an impact?
Well, I know what it's like to be a player and time waste, so I think it's a good thing. It's got to make players think, well, I'm not going to get away with it, so actually you've got to do the right thing to try and mean that there isn't the extra time played.
Here's our break on the edge of the Polish penalty area. Almost all of the ball has been inside the Polish half of the field since Saudi Arabia fell behind to that goal from Jelinski. A chance here for Abdul Hamid to cross into the penalty area. He went for the low route, and it was turned behind by Christian Bielik. When they're out of possession, Bielik is almost dropping in to make a back 5, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's played centre-back anyway, hasn't he, in his career? And now playing as a holding midfield player, he's just got a great sense of danger and where the ball's going to land, and picked himself a good spot to be just on the corner of the 6-yard box. That tends to be a great position for defenders to pick up when that's either cut back or flashed across, and Bielik was there.
It's the voice of Dean Ashton, former West Ham and England striker, part of our wall-to-wall World Cup coverage from Doha. That's a poor ball. Played forward by Mohamed Albright. I think he was looking for Al-Shari on the edge of the area, but just overhit it. And it will be a goal kick for Poland, who lead 1-0. France against Denmark. Mexico, Argentina still to come on this busy Saturday afternoon. A little jig of delight from Czeslaw Michniewicz, the former under-21 coach, now first-team coach for Poland, after that shot from Jelinski rifled into the roof of the net. That's the goal that separates the two sides. There's a free kick here for an off-the-ball incident involving Jelinski and Abdullah Al-Malki.
There's just been a lot of this, hasn't there?
Again, it's this ridiculous reaction to a minimal piece of contact.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't even think. I'm not sure it's his face. Was his foot trodden on? I mean, he's holding his face like there was a swinging elbow, of which there wasn't.
Well, it will just add more stoppage time at the end of stoppage time in this first half. Saudi Arabia a goal behind. That match against Argentina was the first time they'd scored more than one goal in a single game for 20 games. So it looks an uphill task to come back and win this one. And what we know about Poland is they have the ability to make themselves defensively resolute and very hard to break down, Dean.
Yeah, and being in this position will really suit them, because they can sit in that low block and then look to counter-attack against Saudi Arabia, who, the longer the game goes on, will have to take more and more risks.
We've played 8 added minutes now of the 10 that were indicated. Hervé Renard in thoughtful mood, just screaming some instructions to his players, the Saudi Arabian coach. He's their 11th different head coach in as many years. Suggests that the role isn't one that necessarily comes with long-term security. As the ball is back inside the Polish penalty area with their goalkeeper Wojciech Szczesny, his penalty save denying Al-Dosari. Could be a key moment, not just this afternoon, but in the group, which looks wide open now as it stands, with Mexico against Argentina still to come. There's every possibility we could have 3 teams in this group, all separated by just a single point come the close of play. Long raking ball upfield by Szczesny, flicked on towards Lewandowski, but headed away by Al-Balahi. And here down the right hand side is Przemysław Frankowski. Cross took a bit of a deflection on, the goalkeeper slides and actually cleared the ball with his knees before it looped up, and he grabbed it at the second time of asking and bowls it out quickly to Abdul Hamid. Maybe one last chance for Saudi Arabia before the interval. Over on that right hand side it's Al-Burakan, plays it back in field to the ever willing Kainu. Al-Malki up in support, finds a bit of space out to his right. Abdul Hamid again with a low cross, cleared by Berezinski, not fully away yet, and then it's hoisted up to the halfway line by Christian Bielik. And for the last of the 10 added minutes at the end of the first half, Poland 1, Saudi Arabia 0 here on TalkSport. Abdul Hamid down the right again, infield to Kainu. Saudi Arabia keeping the ball 15 yards or so outside the Polish area. Burakan's made a good run down towards the right corner flag. There are 7 or 8 Polish players protecting Szczesny's goal. Here's Al-Dosari, gives it away, and they commit a lot of bodies forward there. Saudi Arabia looking for Lewandowski. He was in 2 minds, I think, whether to knock it around the defender or try and play it infield to Krychowiak up in support, and in the end he gives it away cheaply, and the ball is then knocked out of play for a throw. It was a poor touch from Robert Lewandowski, but as the half-time whistle sounds, he made a key contribution to the goal that separates the two sides. It came with 6 minutes of regulation time remaining. Lewandowski with the opportunity maybe to score himself, rounded the goalkeeper Alaways, but took the ball too wide, had the speed of thought to keep it in play, pick out Piotr Jelinski in the centre. He rifled into the roof of the net to make it 1-0 to Poland. Saudi Arabia gifted the opportunity to get back on level terms when they were awarded a penalty moments later. But Salam Al-Dosari denied by a smart save from Wojciech Szczesny. The follow-up save to keep out Albrecht's effort on the rebound, even better from the Polish keeper. So at half-time, work to do for Saudi Arabia. Maybe another big team talk required from Hervé Renard, because it's Poland 1, Saudi Arabia 0.
Alice Crook, thank you. Over on TalkSport 2, Stevenage of League 2, 2 in front now over on National League North side, Kings Lynn Town, in the second round of the FA Cup. Reporters out and about for us this afternoon here on TalkSport, keeping you across all the big headlines in the world's oldest cup competition. 4 back-to-back commentaries on the TalkSport network, live from Qatar also tomorrow, starting from 10 with Japan, Costa Rica, Belgium, Morocco from 1 here on TalkSport. That Japan-Costa Rica game over on TalkSport 2. TalkSport, Belgium, Morocco from 1, 4 o'clock Croatia, Canada, 7 o'clock Spain take on Germany. Saudi Arabia maybe had the better of that first half before Poland nearing half-time finally came to life. Matty Cash down the right, Lewandowski, Dean Ashton probably should have scored, but set up Zielinski, who emphatically finished and made no mistake.
Yeah, it was the one bit of real quality I think we saw in the game, especially from Poland. And down this right-hand side, Matty Cash has been trying to get forward, but the cross he played for Lewandowski was excellent. And you're right, Lewandowski I think was thinking, I'll lift this over the goalkeeper and put it straight in myself. The touch was a little bit heavy, but a clever little swivel and played back to Zielinski, who just fired in. And they don't deserve to be ahead, Poland, because they've not given a lot, but they've shown that they have that bit of quality. But it's just been a real stop-start half, and there's been no fluidness to it at all from both sides, I would have to say.
Matty Cash, key involvement, his energy down the right-hand side, leading to Poland's goal, the only goal of that first half at the Education City Stadium. Dean Ashton, I'll ask you, is the Villa fullback a little fortunate to still be on the pitch, halfway through the first half, leading with the arm?
Well, considering he was on a yellow card as well, absolutely, he really did catch Albrecht with that elbow as he came across. Now, did he swing the elbow? No, but he certainly caught Albrecht badly in the chin, so it was certainly dangerous play. So yeah, he's probably a little bit lucky, but obviously staying on the pitch and then having that impact was important for Poland. But of course the penalty is a massive moment.
Al-Dosari, the match winner over Argentina, got plenty about him, the Saudi frontman. Brought his side a penalty, there's no doubting that. You can watch it 3, 4, 5 times. All you need to do is watch it once. Justice done. Szczesny, top double save, brilliant from the Polish keeper. Had a tweet into TalkSport, Dean Ashton. Where do you stand on this one? Save of the tournament so far, the second save.
Easily. Honestly, it's absolutely outstanding. I mean, there is justice, because there's absolutely no way that is a penalty. I'm sorry, you can't look at that and think it's a penalty. With the reaction of El Shaarawy was really poor, the theatrics, but Szczesny, brilliant save down to his right. How quick does he get up to then make that save with the fingertip? Because Albrecht comes in and hits it as hard as he can with his side foot. Honestly, these goalkeepers sometimes, they astound me with how firm the hand and fingers are. Honestly, it's an outstanding save.
I pulled a muscle in my back 10-pin bowling the other day, Dean, so I wouldn't have been able to spring to life like Szczesny did with that double save. So important to Poland nearing half-time. Back with Dean Ashton, Alex Crook very shortly here on TalkSport. Let's take a look at the latest odds now ahead of the second half between Poland and Saudi Arabia with William Hill.
In the Zone on TalkSport with William Hill. Get epic value all tournament with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Poland to stay out in front. You can get it 2-7 with William Hill. A draw 15-4. Saudi Arabia to turn it around just like they did a few days ago against Argentina. You can get with William Hill to win at 12-1. Robert Lewandowski to score the second goal of the game. Was 4-1. You can now get at 5-1 to score his first ever World Cup goal. That was a look at the latest odds thanks to William Hill. Get epic odds with William Hill. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. begambleaware.org.
In the Zone on TalkSport with William Hill. Get epic value all tournament with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Poland needing to win. Poland in front. Half time. Poland 1, Saudi Arabia 0.
World Cup Game Day live on TalkSport, presented by Carling. Carling, the UK's #1 lager. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
With the biggest range of cars to buy entirely online, it's no wonder everyone's cinching it. Talk us through it, Deck.
Yeah, I knew we were on track to bring it home, but for free? Didn't see that coming.
Luke.
Yeah, coming away with a 14-day money-back guarantee. Unbelievable.
Anything to add, Steve?
At the end of the day, the lads really cinched it. Perfect delivery with no unexpected charges. I'm ecstatic.
With so many great reasons to buy, the nation aren't just nailing it, they're cinching it. Comparison against equivalent retailers. Visit cinch.co.uk/range claim. Mileage and delivery restrictions and terms apply.
Being a Sparky is great. I like solving problems and doing something different every day. But there's more to life than work, you know? I wanted to get out and do more on the weekend. That's why I moved to Western Australia. To spend some time on my new boat and build a life for myself. Search Build a Life in WA to learn more about a life in Western Australia. Authorised by the Government of Western Australia, Perth.
A Lamona oven and gas hob for just £99. It's another reason why Howden's is bang on the money.
Hang on, are you sure that's the price?
Yeah, script says oven and hob for £99.
Wow, that really is bang on the money.
And all Lamona appliances come with a 3-year guarantee. Plus, with everything supplied locally from stock, you'll get it fast too. So get to your local Howden's. Hurry, stocks are limited. Trade customers only. Price excludes VAT at 20%.
At William Hill, we get the value of the World Cup.
Best chance in 66.
The value of the players.
They've got some decent strikers.
The value of the draw.
Wales, England, unbelievable.
The value of your bet.
Wow, that's great odds.
That's why during the World Cup, William Hill is giving you more epic value. Get behind your team with William Hill's Epic Odds. Our biggest value offers of the tournament. Now that's epic value. All tournament. It's who you play with. William Hill. Online and in shop for Plus card holders only. Max £10 stake. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Right, kids. I need to stop at the BP. No messing about. Let's get in and out.
Mum, can I have some Wotsits? And Cadbury Snowballs?
You know, if you buy those, you get 10p off every litre of fuel.
Oh, treats all round then.
Yeah!
Pick any 2 items like assorted snacks or Wild Bean Cafe hot drinks at your local BP for 10p off every litre of fuel. BP, here for all of life's journeys. T's and C's apply, subject to availability. Selected stores only. For more details, see bp.co.uk/latest offers.
You can choose what time you turn up to Trafalgar Square. You can even choose how close you are to the big screen. But you can't choose the gloriously unpredictable British weather. There goes the screen, your toupee, and any chance of watching England win. Enjoy 100% of the game at home with a Rustler's burger made with 100% British and Irish beef. Give yourself the chance to win the ultimate football party by bringing it home with Rustler's.
I love Christmas carols and power tools. Listen to this. On the first day of Christmas, Ryobi gave to me a whole new starter kit and a power tool for free. Buy any Ryobi 1 Plus Christmas starter kit costing over $109.99, like a combi drill, torch, 2 2-amp-hour batteries and charger, and get another power tool totally free. Buy online at ryobitools.co.uk/Christmas or sledge into a participating retailer today. Terms and conditions apply. Ho, ho, ho!
World Cup Game Day, live on TalkSport. Presented by Dobble from Asmodee UK. When the game stops, keep on playing Dobble. Available at all good retailers.
All the way from the Gulf to the Goalmouth. TalkSport on 1089 and 1053 medium wave on the Groovy app and on your smart speaker. The mother of all World Cup football broadcasters. TalkSport.
Still to come today on TalkSport, Stars on show. France clashing with Denmark from 4. Later on tonight, Hugh Woozencroft, your host, as Argentina need to win against Mexico from 7 p.m. In Group C, it's Poland 1, Saudi Arabia 0. Here's your halftime highlights on TalkSport with Carling.
Halftime highlights on TalkSport with Carling. We're made by our mates. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Robert Lewandowski, the Poland captain, led his team out for what he admits is a must-win game if they are to stand any realistic chance of progression to the knockout stages. They're up against a Saudi Arabia side who have already stunned the football world once this tournament. Can they do it again? A shot from the edge of the penalty area that's curled over the top of the crossbar. It was ambitious, but it was worth hitting from Mohamed Al. Break up from the back. Cash with the delivery. Lewandowski arrives on. Somehow he's not scored from 4 yards. Played it back into the area. And Poland do have their goal. Slammed into the roof of the net by Piotr Jelinski. The referee is having a long look at the monitor. He's back out there. And I think he's given a penalty. Extraordinary. Aldasari, a goal scorer against Argentina, is denied by Szczesny, and then it's turned over the top of the crossbar on the rebound by Albrecht. And Wojciech Szczesny, the former Arsenal goalkeeper, keeps Poland in front.
At the Education City Stadium, that's your halftime highlights on TalkSport with Carling. We're made by our mates, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Halftime highlights on TalkSport with Carling. We're made by our mates. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
Dreaming of making the FA Cup third round, hoping to steal the headlines this weekend in the second round of the world's oldest cup competition. Our reporters are out and about, keeping you across the drama, the goals as they go in this afternoon. We'll strive to keep you across the goals as they go in this afternoon here on TalkSport when we have the chance to in the FA Cup second round. Over on TalkSport 2 latest, Kings Lynn Town 0, Stevenage 3 with just under 30 minutes to go. From the 7th tier, the lowest ranked side still in the competition. Their journey to today has been immense. South Church are away to Forest Green Rovers of League One. There for TalkSport. Afternoon to Dave Rowe.
Afternoon, Dan. Yes, Southchurch pulled off one huge upset 3 weeks ago by winning just up the M5 at Cheltenham with 2 goals from Danny Waldron. So can they now make round 3 for only the second time in their history? League One strugglers Forest Green at bottom of their table, 6 points from safety. And amongst their front line, a real FA Cup story, Josh March, who started his career with Southchurch, scoring 66 goals in 4 seasons. He's up front today, along with the vastly experienced Connor Wickham. 4 divisions and 92 places between them at the Bolt New Lawn. It's Forest Green against Southchurch.
Next, an all League One encounter this afternoon down on the south coast. Portsmouth clash with MK Dons at Fratton Park. For us, Chris Hull.
Yes, it's a first meeting for these two sides in the competition. Pompey have won the FA Cup twice in 1939 and 14 years ago in 2008. But MK Dons' very best is the 5th round in 2013. Being in the 3rd round draw on Monday is today's target. Team news highlights: Pompey's boss Danny Cowley makes 4 changes, with Colby Bishop leading the forward line for the home side. Meanwhile, MK manager Liam Manning rings 5 changes, with Burns, Isa and Holland up top. In Fratton, we're up for the cup. It's Pompey against MK.
Next, let's go to Hillsborough, where League 2 side Mansfield have a big away following behind them as they seek to humble Sheffield Wednesday. Afternoon to TalkSport's Mickey Gray.
Afternoon, it's high-flying Sheffield Wednesday coming to this game 3rd in the table, unbeaten in 7 games. Darren Moore makes 8 changes from their 1-0 win against Shrewsbury last Saturday. League 2 Mansfield are looking to bounce back from a 3-0 defeat to Harrogate on Saturday, and Nigel Clough makes 2 changes. It's the FA Cup second round here at Hillsborough. It's Sheffield Wednesday against Mansfield.
We can also head off to North Wales to the racecourse. Flying high in the National League, Wrexham in the second round of the FA Cup play host to Farnborough of the National League South. This one underway from 3:15. There for TalkSport. Afternoon to Ian Abrahams.
Good afternoon, and Wrexham are top of the National League right now, looking to end that 15-year itch and exile from the EFL, and they take on this afternoon Farnborough. First competitive meeting between these two sides. Farnborough are in National League South, midway down the table, but shouldn't be underestimated. Unbeaten in their last 11, and they won at League 2 Sutton in the last round of the competition. But this will be difficult today, Dan, as Wrexham are the only side, I believe, in England with a 100% home record. They've not lost a game or drawn a game here this season. It's Wrexham against Farnborough at the racecourse ground.
Reporters keeping you up to date with all the latest in the FA Cup second round goals as they go in. We'll keep you across the scores as the sides re-emerge for the second half at the Education City Stadium. Saudi Arabia behind, but they were behind against Argentina. They're readying a half-time substitution. Bring you the details of that and the second half. The former England striker Dean Ashton alongside TalkSport match commentator Alex Crook.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. You have to go back to Mexico 86, the last time Poland avoided defeat in their second game of a World Cup group. They've given themselves a very decent platform to go on and end that long wait. They lead by 1-0 at half-time. Piotr Jelinski with the finish made by Robert Lewandowski, who still waits for his first World Cup finals goal. Will it come in the second half? We're back off and running here on TalkSport. This game at the Education City Stadium in Doha. Saudi Arabia all in green, shooting from left to right in the second half. As darkness falls in Qatar, Poland in their white shirts, red shorts and white socks. They are attacking the goal away to our left. There has been a change, as Dan alluded to, for Saudi Arabia. Nawaf Al-Abid is on for the second half, and he has replaced Sami Al-Naji in midfield. It's a like-for-like replacement. Al-Abid in the veteran stage of his career only played 18 minutes in qualifying, but he's got 45 here to try and help Saudi Arabia get back in the game. No change for Poland. I'll run through the two lineups in full in just a moment, as our break down the right-hand side comes forward for Saudi Arabia. Only had 3 shots on goal against Argentina, scored with both attempts on target. Saudi Arabia to come from behind in the second half and win by 2-1. We know all about Hervé Renard's half-time team talk in that game. Dean Ashton, what we've been saying here, does his team win a corner?
Well, I mean, it's interesting that we don't see it very often either. The full-backs have swapped sides, so Albrake's gone over to the right to play right-back.
And he is a right-back naturally,
but he was playing left-back to start with.
He was.
Abdulhamid on the who was playing right-back, he's now playing left-back. So there's a change in terms of what the manager maybe wanted. And Al-Abid, as well, the substitute coming on. See what he can do.
Well, they just put a corner into the penalty area, very deep to the far post. Al-Amri did his best to make something of it, couldn't do so, and then Gregor Krykowiak is penalised for a foul. So free kick for Saudi Arabia. 10 yards outside the penalty area, 15 yards in from this right touchline. Early pressure on the Polish goal at the start of this second half. Wall-to-wall green shirts behind Wojciech Szczesny's goal. And there are plenty of green shirts up to attack this set piece as well. And again, it will be the man who's just come on, Nawaf Al-Abid, to take the free kick, wearing the white boots. He will curl this in, left-footed from the right-hand side. It's headed clear by Robert Lewandowski, the Polish captain. Still, Saudi Arabia camped inside the Polish half away to our right. Now operating down this right-hand side, as Dean Ashton correctly spotted. Comes in field. Little left-footed clip towards the far post. More defending for Poland to do here. Headed away by Christian Bielik. And then they're going to look to counter. And they win themselves a free kick just on the edge of the centre circle after Milik was pulled back. And it gives me an opportunity to run through the two lineouts. Poland unchanged. Szczesny the goalkeeper. Kasz, Glick, Kiwior and Berezinski in front of him. Then come Bielik and Krykowiak protecting the back four. Frankowski and Jelinski, the goal scorer, out wide, with Milik up in support of Lewandowski up front. And they've broken the lines here, and the Saudi Arabia goalkeeper Mohamed Alaways has to come a long way outside the area and made a really good slide tackle to steal the ball away from Jelinski. It's out for a throw.
Well, if you are going to play a high line, then you want your goalkeeper to be alert, and that's exactly what Alaways was there. Came sprinting out of his area. We saw with Hennessy yesterday that you can get yourself in a bit of trouble, but timed it perfectly.
Berezinski's throw has been cleared away. There's a stoppage here because of a head injury in the Saudi defence. Alaways their goalkeeper. Outbreak now on the right hand side of the back four, with Abdul Hamid down the left, Al-Amri and Bulaihi in the centre back positions, Al Malki in front of them, and then the four in behind Al Shari, the lone striker, Al Burakan, Al-Abid the substitute, Kainu, who I was really impressed with the ground that he covered in the first half, and Al Dasari, who saw his penalty saved by Szczesny. It is Kainu, the Al Hilal midfielder, who is in need of a bit of treatment. He was actually banned for 4 months at one stage recently after signing forms with 2 different clubs. Mohamed Kainu. He's a very athletic player. Dean Ashton.
He's been excellent, hasn't he? He really, I mean, I thought he was against Argentina, but he's been exactly the same. Obviously, with his physicality, like you said, the long legs, the ground he can cover, the way he can intercept.
Breaking diagonal ball by Saudi Arabia out to the left-hand side. All defending for Poland here as Al-Dasari makes a late run into the box, and his cross blocked behind by Milik, the Juventus forward, having to help out defensively. Second corner in relatively quick succession early in the second half for the Saudis.
Well, I'm sure Renard's words still ringing in their ears. Are we going to see another big second half performance from Saudi Arabia? They've started brilliantly so far in this second half.
Came from behind to beat Argentina. If they can do the same today, they will be through to the knockout rounds for the first time since USA 94. The ball is just chipped to the edge of the penalty area, and that man Kainu that we've been talking about went for the acrobatic overhead kick. It was a long way out, and it, in the end, soused harmlessly wide. Technique not quite on point. He shinned it really. It's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, no Richarlison, was it? From Kainu. It was more like a wardrobe falling over than anything else.
There's a bit of an incident here over on the far side. The referee just racing across to intervene. Lewandowski was involved, so too was Al-Balaihi. Much to do about nothing really, and Saudi Arabia will come forward again. Impressive start to the second half from Hervé Renard's team. 53 on the clock. Poland 1, Saudi Arabia 0. France, Denmark next up, followed by Mexico, Argentina, the other game in this group. 2 more live commentary still to come from Doha this afternoon on Talk Sport. Saudi Arabia press forward in search for an equaliser. Al-Malki with a chip into the box, headed away by Kamil Glik. He's had a good game at the heart of that Polish back four. Saudi Arabia dominating possession to a slow hand clap from their supporters at the start of this second half. Poland with everybody in white back behind the ball. Here's Al-Dasari, midway inside the Polish half of the field, looking to make amends for his first half penalty miss. Chips it towards the box. It's cleared by Kiwior, and then a free kick that has been given Poland's way. It's Gregor Krykowiak who's down, having been caught by a tackle from behind by Salah Al-Shari. 7 goals in 13 games in qualifying. Al-Shari was a fitness doubt coming into the tournament, but leading the line up front for Saudi Arabia.
Do Poland think because Saudi Arabia beat Argentina that automatically makes them equally as good, if not better, than Argentina? They are sat camped on the edge of their box. It's such a strange mentality for a team when you just look down at the names on the team sheet of Milik, Zielinski, Lewandowski, Krykowiak. You know, these players can play. It's amazing how negative their football is.
And we've seen that from a few of the more fancied nations in this tournament. I mean, we won't labour too much on England 0, USA 0, but it was the same from Gareth Southgate's side on Talk Sport last night. We did Denmark against Tunisia. Denmark very disappointing in that game, didn't get their flair players on the ball at all. Uruguay labouring against South Korea, and another goalless game. Is it because this is a very unique situation where the World Cup is being played in the middle of the season, there's no real warm-up matches, there's no great amount of training time? Is it simply that some of the nations are just not properly prepared?
I think that's certainly a valid point, but we're not talking about players that, when we see them, certainly in and around Europe, that can't perform and aren't performing and are in good form. So there should be no reason why you can't come to a tournament such as this and raise your game. Maybe it's just caution. It's such a huge tournament for everyone.
And the group game separated by only 8 days. Saudi Arabia with men forward inside the penalty area. Well, he might come for Al-Dasari from 4 yards out. Another excellent save by Szczesny. Well, Poland were all at sea at the back. There were 4 or 5 green shirts just waiting to take a pot shot at goal. It came for Al-Dasari, and again he feels he should have scored. Poor defending from the Poles, but another brilliant piece of goalkeeping with the legs this time from Wojciech Szczesny to keep his team in front, and he leaps and punches the air to celebrate that stop.
Al-Dasari's the danger man though, isn't he? Cutting in off that left hand side, playing it into Al-Abid, who was blocked, and then as it fell for Al-Dasari, yes, using the legs, whatever part of your body you can, Chesney, as he dived at the feet of the number 10.
And that's a couple of massive opportunities that have come the way of Salam Al-Dasari. Man of the match in the 2021 Asian Champions League final. Has a good goal scoring record for his country. Scored in the 2018 World Cup, scored that winner against Argentina, but unable to find the breakthrough for his team so far this afternoon. You're listening to Talk Sport live from Doha. 57 play, Poland 1, Saudi Arabia 0. But at the moment it feels a matter of time before Saudi Arabia get back on level terms. They have a throw just inside the Polish half. Over on the left hand side, it's played down the line and collected by Kainu. He goes back into the Saudi half, away to our left. Abdullah Al-Amri, one of the players coming into the side. 3 key players missing through injury, but it hasn't made too much difference for Saudi Arabia in terms of their overall performance level. They don't deserve to be behind, arguably, on the balance of play. And their fans inside the Education City Stadium are still offering plenty of vocal encouragement. As Poland come forward over the halfway line. Free kick conceded by Al-Abid. It was clever from the goal scorer. Jelinski just slowed the ball down, waited for the point of contact and went down to win the free kick.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia, they won't be used to this. They won't be used to a team just sitting deep and wanting to counter-attack against them. But you talked about the lack of goals and the fact that they hadn't scored 2 goals in a game for such a long period of time. Their attacking stats are usually very, very poor. They're used to taking shots from distance.
Poland going to get a shot away here. Deep cross into the penalty area. It's collected over on the far right-hand side by Frankowski. His cross is blocked, and then it's a bit of a wayward ball back into the area by Matty Cash, high into the stands and out for a goal kick. That goal from Jelinski, by the way, the first that Poland have managed from open play at a World Cup in 20 years. Last 5 all from set pieces. They don't look like a team who are going to score too many more, do they?
Well, no. In fact, you just said that stat means they've probably been playing this way for a long period of time, and for a team, again, I reiterate, the names on that team sheet, they should be playing a different style and certainly should be able to play through and have confidence to play through and the bravery to play through.
And here's Al-Amri coming towards the halfway line for Saudi Arabia, looking to switch it out to the left-hand side where Abdul Hamid have made a good burst forward. It's headed away by Krajkowiak, picked up back inside the Saudi half now by Kainu. No great tempo about the game at the moment. Hour gone, 1-0 Poland lead on TalkSport. Here's our break down the right-hand side for Saudi Arabia. The slow clap echoes around the stadium once more. Al-Shari drops deep into midfield. And now Al-Abid, the substitute. Switch of play out to the right-hand side. Clever touch from our break. We're going to pick out the run of Kainu. Poland smuggle it clear, but only to the halfway line, and once again Saudi Arabia in possession with Al-Amri, who's got that heavy strapping on his right elbow, having landed awkwardly in the first half. Here's Al-Dasari down the left-hand side again for the Saudis. Now Kainu. First time layoff by Al-Shari. Al-Dasari, this is neat football. Can it lead to a goal-scoring opportunity? It can, and it's been lashed wide by Al-Barakan, left-footed. Went for power rather than placement. And another let-off for Poland after a really intricate move from Saudi Arabia.
Al-Dasari, it's just wonderful play from him. Lovely little 1-2 with Kainu, and then manipulates the ball on the edge of the box, plays an outside of the foot pass down the side of Kamil Glick to Al-Barakan, who just lashes over the top.
Oh, and they've won it back on the edge of the penalty area with Al-Shari, and again it's blazed over, this time by Kainu. Shocking piece of play by Berezinski down the left-hand side court, dawdling on the ball. Once again, they just needed that extra piece of composure. Once the ball had found itself at the feet of Kainu, make the goalkeeper make a save, and he's blazed it high into the stand away to our right.
Yeah, that's twice now. Alberto Can just a second ago with his left foot, just lashing over the top, and this time Kainu, they're just trying to just hit the ball as hard as they can, a bit like Jelinski for the Poland goal, but still, you've got to work a lot harder to get your head and shoulders over the ball to keep that down.
Foul given against Lewandowski here. They were looking for handball, Poland. It was an incident 25 yards or so inside the Saudi Arabia half of the field. Free kick goes the way of Hervé Renard's team. He actually has a contract, Hervé Renard, until 2027, which, given the fact I mentioned the first half, they had 11 coaches in 11 years, seems a little bit ambitious. We shall see. Certainly no lack of ambition on the pitch today from Saudi Arabia. Deep cross towards the far post from Albrek, who burst in behind the Polish defence, but can only knock the ball out of play for a goal kick. Are they just going to try and tough this out, Poland?
Yeah, I mean, Adrian Durham said the other day in the Brazil game that Serbia were playing anti-football, and it feels a bit like that with Poland, doesn't it? It feels like they've got absolutely no interest whatsoever in playing this game. They just want to sit there, defend this 1-0 and get out of here. And it's not pretty, but I guess if it's effective and they win the game 1-0, then we can't be too critical.
Well, they're making a change here, are Poland, and we're about to see Kaminski introduced, and it's the goal scorer Jelinski who is making way. Jakub Kaminski actually started the first game against Mexico, and here's an opportunity for Lewandowski. Milik, in fact, with a header against the crossbar. So close to 2-0. The goalkeeper was beaten. Milik couldn't quite squeeze the header underneath the crossbar.
No, he can't believe it, can he? And it just shows when they do get it wide, as they did in the first half, and they put quality into the area, they've got those players that can hurt you, and it's a diving header for Milik. It just evades the defender's head, and he just flings himself forwards, heading towards goal, upwards and onto the crossbar. It's so unlucky because it's a difficult skill, the diving header.
The goalkeeper's in a different postcode. He's got absolutely no chance of getting there. And Poland agonisingly close to doubling their lead and surely sealing all 3 points. It remains 1-0. We've played 64 minutes. As Dean Ashton has said there, it does show that Poland do have that attacking quality. They've just not showed it enough. Only one attempt on target, and of course that was the goal from Jelinski over the course of these opening 64 minutes. Hervé Renard still very demonstrative in that gleaming white shirt on the edge of the technical area. It's like it's never been worn before, fresh out the packet.
I know, I mean, for a man of 54, he's in absolutely outrageous shape, and they always look a bit nicer when you shredded like he is. But so far his team are frustrated, and it's not for the want of trying, it's not for the want of creating the chances. They've just not had the quality, which is usually, I'm sure, what he's seen from his team. It was unusual for the 2 goals, especially the way they took those goals against Argentina. 2 amazing finishes. He's almost on the pitch, Renard, trying to keep the tempo high from his team.
Well, the technical areas at this World Cup are absolutely ginormous. You could almost park the team bus in them. He was at the furthest point there, away from the dugout, and was almost halfway inside the Poland half. Making maximum use of the space available. They're making a change here, Saudi Arabia. Albrek, having switched sides in this second half, is going off as Lewandowski arrives at the near post, and he's denied by the woodwork. Low cross on the right hand side. Lewandowski quickest to react, and he can't squeeze the ball home from 4 or 5 yards out. And still Robert Lewandowski waits to become a World Cup goal scorer.
Oh, what's he got to do? This brilliant movement from Robert Lewandowski, and it's in the wide areas where they've caused Saudi Arabia problems. And I mean, he does really well, Lewandowski, to get the contact on the ball. He's darting across the goalkeeper, and does the goalkeeper make a save? That's the big question. Lewandowski with the monitors in front of us. It comes across. He's just gone to side foot it in with his right foot. He's completely missed it. It's then hit his left shin and hit the post. So he can only blame himself.
Sultan Al Ghanam, the man who has come on to replace Al Break. He's more of an attacking fullback. Popped up with some crucial assists in qualifying. Hervé Renard will be hoping that's the change that can unlock this stubborn Polish defence in the final 24 minutes here on TalkSport. Poland won, Saudi Arabia 0, France, Denmark on the way next. And then the big game of the day is Mexico against Argentina, live from the Lusail Stadium. That gets underway at 7 o'clock UK time. The other game, of course, in this group. Here's Al Burakan streaming towards the penalty area, skipping away from a couple of challenges and going down 7 or 8 yards outside the box. It's a free kick in a very central position. It was a challenge that had to be made by Christian Bielik just to stop the momentum of the run. Given some of the bookings we saw in the first half, Dean Ashton, he can probably count himself fortunate, Bielik, not to pick up a yellow card.
Yeah, he just steps across, doesn't he? He's been excellent as well, though, Bielik, I have to say. He's been really good in front of that back four, and he's tucked into the back line when needed, but there he was just outpaced by Al Burakan and Al Dasari, and Al Abid stood over this. Great position to have, enough space to get this up and over a big wall between yourself and the 18-yard line.
I don't think we've seen a goal yet, have we? Direct from a free kick in this tournament?
No.
Is this the moment? Salam Al Dasari, he will be the favourite, the captain, with that armband on his left forearm. There are 4 stood in the Polish wall. Milik is crouched on his knees behind it. He can go either side of Wojciech Szczesny. It's Al Abid who hammers it into that wall. He's back now with Al Dasari. Finds Al Abid down this right hand side for Saudi Arabia, and he's been challenged by Lewandowski, and Lewandowski looking to release Milik, and again the goalkeeper had a really good starting position, and he comes all the way up towards the halfway line and clears it away. Alaways. That's what Poland are limiting themselves to now, soaking up pressure, trying to hit on the counter as Al Burakan cuts the ball back to the corner of the penalty area. Al Dasari with a shot straight into the arms of Szczesny. Al Dasari taking aim from 20 yards out.
Yeah, he doesn't waste any time at all, does he, Al Dasari? When he's on the edge of the box, it's onto that right foot, and he's looking to curl, as he did against Emi Martinez in the last game, looking to arc that towards the far post. He doesn't get a good contact, really. It's an easy save for Szczesny to make.
Still Poland lead 1-0, but still Saudi Arabia looking like they can get back on level terms. This against a Poland side who were thumped 6-1 by Belgium in the recent Nations League. Poland taking part in their 9th World Cup. So plenty of tournament experience. It's chipped forward by Gregor Krykowiak down the right hand side for the Poles. Good defending by Abdul Hamid, and he's been brought down. It's going to be a free kick in the left back position. So Sultan Al Ghanam, now the right full back, going to come on for our break. Abdul Hamid operating on the left hand side of that 4. Here is Al Ghanam gliding away from the challenge of Frankowski, asking Al Amri to come forward. He does so over the halfway line, a very central position. Saudi Arabia all in green, attacking the goal away to our right here on TalkSport. Dean Ashton and Alex Crook, your commentary team. And that's a mistake by Alganan, let the ball roll under his starting out for a throw. And as that happened, Bartosz Berezinski has gone down for Poland. I think we're going to see a change. Coach Michniewicz just issuing some final instructions. Milik, having headed against the crossbar, is the player who is replaced by Krzysztof Piatek, former AC Milan forward. What did you make of Milik's performance, Dean Ashton?
Average. I don't think he's had a big impact on the game. He had that flash moment where he's headed against the crossbar, and ultimately in a game like this that could be absolutely crucial, but he's not really combined as he with Lewandowski. He's not been a real threat, but you know, what instructions has he really had from the manager, the way Poland have played? It's not exactly, doesn't exactly lend itself to the forward players, does it?
Lewandowski's been caught on the halfway line by Al-Malik. Al-Malik just helping the Poland captain back to his feet. Free kick arrowed out to the right by Krykowiak. Good delivery. An opportunity straight away for Piatek to get involved as he waits in the centre for the cross. Move breaks down over on the right hand side, but Saudi Arabia squander possession, give it straight back to Krykowiak. Powerful drive down the right from him, and it was Al-Dasari with a challenge to concede a throw in front of the small travelling contingent from Poland. Certainly many more Saudi Arabia fans inside the Education City Stadium than their Polish counterparts. Poland are attacking the goal behind which their fans are gathered. Long throw into the area. Piatek trying to head it on. Cleared by the gangly finger of Kainu. Out for a Poland throw. We've only got 17 minutes plus stoppage time to play here. Poland 1, Saudi Arabia 0. Piotr Jelinski with a goal late in the first half. A volley rifled into the roof of the net. Wojciech Szczesny saving a first half spot kick after conceding from Saudi Arabia's Salim Al-Dasari. Poland with plenty of men forward in attack as Frankowski has the ball on the left corner of the 18-yard box. Plays it out to the overlapping Berezinski. They're too overzealous in the challenge. It's going to be a free kick for Saudi Arabia on their own byline.
Out wide, I've been impressed with Poland. When they have got forwards, then Mati Cash, Berezinski, they've been a useful outlet for Poland. They need to use them more, to be honest. When you've got Lewandowski and Milik or Piatek up there, if you can get wide and put good delivery in, they're going to be dangerous. They've got clever movement, these players, and good quality. And they've been unlucky, but that wide areas is a real positive for Poland.
Here's Al-Shari, right wing position for Saudi Arabia. Men waiting for the cross in the centre. Good challenge on the slide from Kivior, stopping that cross coming into the box. It's been lively. Al-Shari covered plenty of ground as the lone striker. Throw in taken quickly down this near side as we look. Al-Amri forward from the back, and he switched the play out to the left, and the ever willing Al-Dasari. Now Abdul Hamid forward into the penalty area, finds Al-Abid. Al-Dasari urged to shoot by the Saudi Arabian fans, but he's dispossessed on the edge of the box, and this is where Poland might be able to counter. And Lewandowski is through on goal here, and again Alois, excellent goalkeeping. He'd have been one-on-one there, Robert Lewandowski. Alois racing out of his penalty area to clear the ball out for a throw.
Oh, but how useless was the pass from Piatek? All you've got to do is just put that into the path of Lewandowski. He just heavy touch through to the goalkeeper. Fair play to him, he was out and he was alert. But that's a really, really simple pass for Piatek to make to Lewandowski, and he was just over here.
I sense that as a fully paid up member of the Strikers Union, Dean Ashton, you're getting a bit frustrated on Lewandowski's behalf at the lack of service.
Yeah, can you tell?
Just a touch.
Oh dear. If you asked him in training, Piatek, just pass this ball 3 yards into this space, please, he could do it. Well, why not in a game?
Long punt forward down the Saudi Arabian right hand side by Kainu, but Straight into the gloves of Wojciech Szczesny. Made that breathtaking double save. Being kept out the penalty to then tip over the rebound from our break at the end of the first half to deny Saudi Arabia a chance to get back to 1-1. Poland still clinging on to this very slender advantage with 15 minutes plus added time to play on TalkSport. A win that will take them level on points with Saudi Arabia. Mexico, who play Argentina later, will be on 1 point in the group, and obviously Argentina, having suffered that shock defeat against Saudi Arabia, still to get off the mark. Which two teams are going to qualify from this group, Dean Ashton?
I think Argentina are going to do it. I think that was a blip for them. And then in the final game.
So you think Argentina will win both their final matches to beat Mexico on TalkSport later tonight? And
I do.
Beat Poland as well.
I do, and I think then Mexico will get through as well.
And that would be a real come down, wouldn't it, for Saudi Arabia? The high of that staggering victory against Argentina, so they're not qualify from the group. They will see this game today, I think, as a big missed opportunity if that does happen.
Yeah, definitely, especially with that penalty as well.
I wonder if the Crown Prince might have kept the receipts for the Rolls Royces in case they crash out. Very scrappy out there at the moment at the Education City Stadium. No real flow about the game. That will suit Poland as they protect this 1-0 lead. They have a free kick down in their own left back position. Hervé Renard still barking instructions. Much calmer, the Poland coach Czesław Michniewicz. He'd only had a couple of games in charge when he led them to the playoff success against Sweden, having replaced Paulo Sousa. Here is Al-Shari down the right hand side for Saudi Arabia. They're going to try and switch the play out to the left. It was a strong pass out there by Al-Abid. Now Abdul Hamid down by the left corner flag is trying to get across. Sinois played it through the legs of Glick, and then the effort fired just wide. Huge opportunity for Saudi Arabia. It was Al Malki who made the late run into the box. Brilliant play initially down the left by Abdul Hamid. They didn't really get it away, Poland, and the shot just lacked a bit of conviction from Al Malki, who's never scored for Saudi Arabia. He's just past the left hand upright with Wojciech Szczesny, Dean Ashton, I think struggling.
He was. I mean, it was a brilliant bit of wing play from Abdul Hamid on that left hand side, just jinked inside, a little nutmeg in there as well, and then when it was blocked it ricocheted out to Al Malki, and you can see why he hasn't scored. Again, just looking to side foot that in. It came off his heel rather than the inside of his foot, and that's why then it had the extra bit of spin on it to take it wide.
Al Amri crossing from the right hand side for Saudi Arabia, headed away by Kivior. Poland having to work doubly hard here to keep Saudi Arabia at bay. A big final 10 minutes ahead. Here's Al Amri again in the right wing position, tries to play it forward. It's cleared away by Frankowski. Out for a throw. Hervé Renard urging his team forward. Even the most ardent Polish fan couldn't argue that Saudi Arabia deserved to be level. Poland have had those couple of big opportunities too. A header from Milik against the crossbar, and then Lewandowski denied by the near post. Here's Al-Ghanem crossing all the way across the face of goal. Any kind of contact from a green shirt, and Saudi Arabia would have been level. It goes behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's not very useful though, that sort of ball across from Al-Ghanem. It's like he's shooting but across the goal. so difficult to get on the end of. When you're trying to make that darting run, if it's fired across with such pace, it's very difficult to get there. Rather than getting your head up there and trying to pick out someone who's making the run, it'd probably be more helpful.
Here's Al-Ghanem, infield to Amalki. Heavy touch from Al-Burakan as he tried to win it back. He tripped Berezinski, so it's a free kick for Poland just inside the Saudi half. You're listening to Talk Sport live from Doha. Poland 1, Saudi Arabia 0. And we're into the final 10 minutes of the 90. Still no goal for Lewandowski, but at the moment his side on the cusp of what could be a crucial win in this group to keep alive their hopes of qualification for the knockout stages. Lewandowski waiting for a cross in the centre, and it's headed high over the crossbar by Piatek. It's a looping ball into the box. He would have had to generate a lot of his own power, Piatek, and never really troubling Alois.
No, because he shied away, because he knew as he was about to head it, if he really followed through the header, he might then head into the back of the defender who had just tried to jump in front of him, and because of that then he's tentatively put his head there, and it's hit the top of his head rather than his forehead.
Well, Poland have kept clean sheets in each of the last 2 games, and Lewandowski dispossesses the defender, and there is the moment. Robert Lewandowski with his first ever World Cup goal to win the game for Poland. It's an absolute shocker for Abdullah Al-Malki, caught in possession on the edge of his own penalty area, and Lewandowski said thank you very much and tucks it beyond Alois. You can see what it means to the goal scoring sensation to finally announce himself on the biggest stage of all. He dived to the floor in celebration. He kisses the lush green grass. Robert Lewandowski almost in tears as he makes it Poland 2, Saudi Arabia 0.
It's an absolute shocker of a mistake from Al-Malki. He gets played the ball across the 18-yard box. He goes to control it. It goes under his foot, and there's the poacher. There's one of the best goal scorers in the world, Lewandowski. And when he does get these chances, these real gilt-edged chances, he doesn't miss. He coolly slots it underneath Alois to get that first World Cup goal, and you can just see how emotional he is. Tears running down his face, the Polish captain, and that should be game over.
Well, he was already Poland's record appearance holder. He has broken so many records at club level, but there was still one big goal missing from one of the greatest CVs in modern football. Not anymore. Robert Lewandowski, thanks to a gift from Al-Malki, but a gift that he wasn't going to pass up, has got the goal that he's been craving above all others. And here he is again, Lewandowski. Poland looking to seal it with a third. Plays the ball out to Cash on the edge of the penalty area. Cash had to work to get it out from under his feet. In it comes, and well, they were lining up there. Frankowski for the overhead kick, didn't come his way. Cleared only as far as Kaminski down the left-hand side, and Poland can just keep the ball now, Dean Ashton, and just run down the clock.
They can. It was nearly on your lips, wasn't it? I'm sure Thomas Muller is saying it in his hotel room. He is just a goal machine, isn't he, Lewandowski?
Oh, nearly played him in again there. Frankowski spotted the run of his captain. Ball didn't quite reach him, and here is Al-Malki. He's been fouled inside the centre circle by Kaminski, and Saudi Arabia have a free kick.
And they've just run out of steam, haven't they? I mean, they've given such effort. In both games they've had so far, they've given such effort, Saudi Arabia, for their manager, and they just haven't taken those chances. They did against Argentina and it worked. They haven't against Poland, and they've paid the price.
Double change here. Al-Shahiri and Al-Malki, whose mistake led to that goal, the landmark goal for Lewandowski. are replaced by Abdulrahman Alaboud and Nassar Al-Dasari. I just wonder how much the effort in the second half, in particular against Argentina, has taken out of these Saudi Arabian players. They will have to rally themselves again for that final group game against Mexico. Poland with Argentina still to come, but the second goal for them from Lewandowski, the skipper, has given themselves a platform. They hope to go and secure qualification to the knockout rounds. I mean, it's not been convincing, has it, over the course of the 87 minutes, Dean? But I guess you could say they've been clinical with the few chances they have managed to create, twice denied by the woodwork and twice finding the back of the net.
Yeah, and that is the way that Poland play. They defend well, they try to break, they hit the front early, and in that man they've got an incredible goal scorer. But you'd be amazed if they were to go on and then beat Argentina in the last game. And Saudi Arabia have got to feel that actually, their World Cup's not over by any means. They've still got a really good chance to qualify.
Deep ball into the Poland penalty area. Goal difference could be crucial in this group. They'll still keep pushing to get themselves on the score sheet. That was Alaboud, having just come on, who can only head onto the roof of the net from a very acute angle. It's a very silent Education City Stadium. I mentioned that the Polish fans were well outnumbered. A lot of dejected Saudi supporters now. That goal for Lewandowski, his 77th in 136 appearances for his country. It's an incredible record. And here he is in possession down the right-hand side. Suddenly confidence oozing through this Polish team, but they've given the ball away. Saudi Arabia will try and counter. Al-Dasari plays a good ball out to the right, and Alaboud, who's just come on, well defended by Berezinski. Alaboud with the bright yellow boots, still trying to keep his team on the attack, but it's Wiley defending again from Berezinski, the Sampdoria man. He clears upfield towards the halfway line. Less than 3 minutes of the 90 remaining. Poland 2, Saudi Arabia 0 on TalkSport. Poland, who finished second to England in the qualification campaign, beat Sweden in the playoff to secure their place at the World Cup. Al-Dasari trying to put the Polish defence under pressure over on that left-hand side as we look. Abdul Hamid was being urged to shoot by the Saudi supporters, placed the ball infield instead to Kainu, and then a deep cross towards the far post, actually headed away by Kainu and picked up by Nassar Al-Dasari, but he's been dispossessed by Lewandowski. It's happened a few times in this second half that the Saudi players have been caught dawdling on the ball. Piatek has then been upended by Kainu, and Poland have a free kick on the edge of the centre circle.
Yeah, Poland have been better in the second half in terms of their own effort, their own pressure that they've put on Saudi Arabia.
We're into 7 added minutes at the end of the game. Poland 2, Saudi Arabia 0. Poland, who haven't managed to navigate their way out of the group in any of their last 3 World Cup campaigns, but they've given themselves hope with this victory. And they're just looking to keep possession now, deep inside their own half, away to our right. Berezinski goes back to the goalkeeper Szczesny, and then headed forward by Lewandowski. It was a clever piece of play, and here he is on the edge of the area. Hurdles one, challenge. Lewandowski tries to lift it over the goalkeeper. It's a good save by Alaways, and then smuggled behind by Al-Ghanam. He can smile about it, Lewandowski, because he's got his goal, but you expected him there to just bury it beyond Alaways and make it 3-0.
Oh, he just tried to be a little bit too clever, didn't he? It's really good goalkeeping, to be fair to Alaways. Gets his arms up nice and high as Lewandowski looks to chip. I just felt, why didn't he do what he did with that first one? Just calmly side-footed past the goalkeeper, who was rushing out again. tried to be maybe too clever, too confident from Lewandowski.
Do you think the finish may have been different had he not have already got himself on the score sheet?
Yes.
Corner from the right to be played in by Frankowski. Lewandowski leaping, but it's nodded away by Al-Amri. Tried Koviak with the ball into the area, and it's behind for a goal kick, and it remains 2-0. What will coach Mitch Navich's overall impression be of his team's performance?
Well, the way he set his team up to defend and counter-attack, it's worked. I just think, if you want to progress in the tournament, I'm not sure playing in that way with the talents he's got at his disposal is the right way, because they've shown when they do get the ball wide and they start to combine, they're a real threat. They're a decent side in that sense. So, of course he'll be delighted because it gives him a real chance to qualify, but I'd rather see this Polish team give it way more of a go in terms of pushing men forward and trying to be a more of an attacking threat.
They have been defensively resolute in their last few World Cup matches. This will be 3 successive shutouts at the World Cup, not managed that since 1978. Saudi Arabia have had opportunities today, though not least the penalty. Al-Dasari denied by Szczesny in the first half, as Poland playing another corner punched away by Alaways, the goalkeeper. Poland finishing the game strongly with that 2-goal cushion. It's back with Matty Cash inside the centre circle. He rolls it into the feet of Szczesny, who clips it forward right-footed. Headed down by Al-Amri inside the centre circle. Lots of empty seats now around the Education City Stadium. Lots of the Saudi Arabian fans have already headed back to their accommodation. Al-Dasari into the feet of Alaboud on the edge of the box. He was looking to find Al Ghanam down the right-hand side, but it's again cleared by Berezinski. I think he's had a good game, the left-back. Now Al-Amri picks up the baton just inside the Saudi half. Poland 2, Saudi Arabia 0. Long ball forward, brought down neatly on the edge of the box by Al-Burakan. Alaboud with a low ball, steered away by Jakob Kivior. Picked up in the right wing position by Al Ghanam. And here now on the edge of the penalty area comes the tall figure of Kainu. Saudi Arabia still looking for a goal deep in stoppage time, but again the header cleared by Glick as the cross was swung in by Al Ghanam down this right hand side. Everybody in terms of outfield personnel camped inside the Poland half away to our right. We play 4 of the 7 added minutes. It remains 2-0 to the Poles.
I've got to be impressed with the way that Kamil Glick has just guided the 22-year-old Kivor alongside him. Every cross that's come in, they've been there, they've dealt with it, they've been nice and tight and stuck together.
Here's Lewandowski inside the centre circle, scoots the ball with the outside of the foot out to Frankowski. Collected down that right-hand side by Kaminski. Lewandowski comes across and then finds Cash. Referee have blown because there is a Saudi Arabia player down. It's Nawaf Al-Abid holding his right leg. And this would just suit Poland because it's another opportunity to run down the clock.
But also, I think they're annoyed because it's not a head injury. Al-Abid is down in midfield where he gets a bit of a whack, but why stop the game when Poland are on the attack? I think that doesn't seem right, and rightly so. They're annoyed.
Poland 2, Saudi Arabia 0. Poland who've won only 3 of their last 12 World Cup games, losing 8 before this afternoon. Taking the lead 6 minutes before the end of the first half. Piotr Jelinski with the powerful finish into the roof of the net after being teed up by Lewandowski. Salem Al-Dasari, conqueror of Argentina, was then denied by a smart penalty save from Wojciech Szczesny. And it took until 7 minutes from time, Robert Lewandowski with that landmark first goal at a World Cup finals to secure all 3 points in the group. Abid unable to continue. So another injury issue for Saudi Arabia, who are missing some key players already. As Lewandowski thought about the shot on the edge of the penalty area. I think he actually had it taken away from him by Kaminski.
I know, he's got some front, hasn't he, Kaminski?
And now Saudi Arabia will break. Hatem Bahebri on for the injured Al Abid. Still this Polish defence holding firm. We're into the last of the 7 added minutes. I think there'll be maybe another 60 seconds added on because of that injury. Don't forget France against Denmark coming up as soon as we're finished here. As the shot is fired in from the edge of the penalty area by Kainu. Chesney had to fling himself to his left-hand side, but the ball just spins harmlessly wide in the end and behind for a goal kick. That will probably, Dean Ashton, be the last meaningful action of the game.
Yeah, and there's the issue. That bit of quality needed to finish off the opportunities that they've created. Kainu, probably more than anyone, would have deserved a goal.
All eyes now on the referee. Poland seconds away from a victory to keep their qualification hopes very much alive. Although they might just need a result against Argentina in their final group game. Good luck with that. Hervé Renard, after the highs of that win against Messi's men, has had a bit of a reality check at the Education City Stadium. Ball is on the halfway line with Abdullah Al-Amri. Now Kainu, still full of running right at the end of the game. We're into the 8th added minute and it remains 2-0 to Poland. Now Nasser Al-Dassari out to the left-hand side as the full-time whistle blows. Robert Lewandowski puts both arms into the sky while Messi, Mbappe and Ronaldo were all off the mark at this World Cup. Robert Lewandowski adds his star-studded name to the list of goal scorers, and finally his wait for a first goal on this most grandest of stages is over. It was Lewandowski's strike 7 minutes from time after capitalising on a mistake in the Saudi Arabia defence that sealed the win for Poland, having turned provider to tee up Piotr Jelinski to fire his team in front at the end of the first half. Poland keep their dream of qualification for the knockout stages alive. For Saudi Arabia, it's back down to earth after that incredible win against Argentina. But Lewandowski's will be the name on the lips of all of the Poland fans as he is mobbed by his teammates. It finishes Poland 2, Saudi Arabia 0.
Alex Crook, thank you.